But I had never taken chemistry, calculus, or physics going into college. Never taken chemistry, calculus, or physics. I'm going to say that again because nobody's going to believe that. They just didn't have it available. And so I get there, and I plebe chemistry, right? It's plebes is what they call the underclassmen, the freshmen at the Naval Academy. Plebe chemistry is called the plebe killer, right? Because it's very, very hard. And it's meant to weed out all the people that shouldn't be there academically. I'd never taken chemistry. And so I remember studying as hard as I could, working as hard as I could, and I took the first test. And it was, you know how you sit in front of a test and you see all the questions, you're like, oh, I don't know the answer to that, let's skip to the next one. And you go through the whole test and you're like, holy shit, I don't know the answer to any of these questions.
I just skipped the whole test.
I just don't know. And so you just try your best and your heart's beating, you've got a cortisol level spiked, you're just like, you're sweating. And I finished it, I turned it in, and the next day we were come back in to get the grades, and I got a 47. I remember, I can see it right now in my mind's eye, and this was 20 plus years ago, 47. And I went up to him and I was like, this is wrong. He was like, yeah, it's all wrong. And I was like, no, the grade, like I had to do better than that. And he goes, no, that was generous of me. And I will tell you this is my professor saying this. He goes, I'll tell you this. If you want to stay at this academy, you need to change something right now, because this course will send you home. And I shot through my veins. Like I was just sitting there, and it was just like, in my head, I'm like, bro, I don't have anywhere to go. You want me to work at the co-op back home, right? At 7-Eleven? Like that's my future if this doesn't work out.
Whoa.
So it wasn't, I don't have another option. And so I was afraid, but I remember, this is going to sound cheesy, but I don't care. I love Rocky. I love the movie Rocky. I know it's a fake character and I got all that, but I watched Rocky 4 like the other day. I've watched him hundreds of times because he's not a great boxer. He never at any point becomes a great boxer, but he is an amazing fighter. He's a warrior, right? And his whole mantra is, I'm not trying to not get hit like Mayweather. Nobody can hit Mayweather, right? Yeah, okay, he's won all these things, but Mayweather's not a fighter. He's a boxer. He's a wonderful boxer, and he's made all his money, but he is not a fighter, right? And I'll stand by that.
Yeah, I believe it.
So and that's not how life works. You cannot avoid getting hit in life. You cannot avoid and slip and duck and, you can't hit me in the back of the head because that's against the rules. Life doesn't give a shit about rules. Life will absolutely annihilate you. And it's not about avoiding annihilation. It's about being able to take it and move forward and keep the hope alive and to keep working, just working, right? Until you move forward, until you find that success. And that was the Naval Academy for me. I said, they're going to have to kick me out. Because a lot of people leave. A lot of people, they get punched in the face and they're like, I'm out, right? I'm going to go home and do something different. I didn't have a home. So it wasn't, a lot of people, they would ask me, they're like, what gave you so much courage? I was like, bro, it wasn't courage. It was fear. I didn't have, it may not be the most noble of pursuits, but I didn't have another choice. And I learned later the story of, the burning the ships, right? Right? You exit and you burn the ships and you don't have anywhere to retreat to. And guess what? You can either succeed or you die. And when you're faced in that situation, you succeed more often than not. And that's what the Naval Academy was for me. I just didn't realize it at the time. And I was like, it's Rocky. I'm just going to keep moving forward until they kick me out. And I eventually graduated with an aerospace degree and a commission in the Marine Corps.